Imagine being one of those mutants that start off not being an Omega level mutant, but you can build stuff, you can build technology to enhance your power to Omega level to where you can kind of cheat the system and make and force your way up to the Omega levels. That's kind of something what Forge did with his tech. Forge is really techie. His mutant power, enhancing his mind, is actual power. Now, his muscle itself isn't his specialty, but at the same time, he does have cybernetic parts. You can argue that can enhance his physicals too, but he can lift up grown women with one arm and throw them, showing his muscle is decent. Yes, he has cybernetics in his body like Cyborg, so that could be a reason why his muscles are pretty decent. Not to mention when we look at the weight of his hits, without any guns, you see him do this to this desk. We even see the weight of his hits punch this cybernetic robot being's head off. Now, a good argument on why he can hit so hard could be partly because of his mutant power, being able to see the weaknesses and design flaws in suits or technological designs. You could say he can hit the pressure points of an actual robotic being, you could say, by simply looking at the design flaw of a battle suit. This could be part of the reason why he can hit so hard. Could be partly because of his battle IQ. And then on the fact that he can just straight up fight. Like, we know Mystique is physically stronger than normal humans. We see him combat against her and just straight up hands, boxing, muscle, just in general, we see his strength too. He's a marksman with great aim. He just has just overall good skill. You know you're a good fighter when the SHIELD organization wants you. You know you're special when you can ask Nick Fury for personal favors. I mean, you're brushing off him being able to combat and compete with Mystique. Like this isn't a big deal when she can easily avoid bullets. In fighting speed, Forge is right there with her, deflecting her thrown knife, reacting and catching a punch from this same being Mystique. If you've been on the page long enough, you should know even characters that don't have superpowers in Marvel can react to incredible stuff thanks to hard work, dedication, or training. So it's really no surprise that Forge is able to keep up with these beings in Marvel, especially being able to react to powerhouse tiers like magic. So while she was Darkchild, he has to have superhuman reflexes. Forge is straight up deflecting lasers with his staff, so light speed type of reaction or close to it. To be able to react to lasers this close to him, he would have to be able to react in nanoseconds, honestly. Yes, Forge can react in billionths of a second. Basically, if he fought a real life humans would be standing still compared to his fighting speed. Let's be real. Even beings that we would all agree are way physically stronger than him, he's been hit by, sent flying by beasts, and he gets back up. So you can look at it as a combination of all these things: his skill, his punching power, speed, how fast he can fight. That's part of the reason why he can hit so hard, despite not even counting technology and such, or gear. I mean, if you want to be technical, if your gear is built within your body, can you really call it standard gear? It's just you at that point. Like, he has cybernetic blast that he can shoot from his actual body, so he's enhanced. You know Misty Knight's bionic arm? This is because of Forge. It makes sense. He's always improving as time goes by. He doesn't just make fancy GPS devices, he upgrades his cyborg limbs for more defense. Yeah, he can make all kinds of guns. Like, this is where the destructive power comes in. He can make electric blasters, elemental type stuff that also has raw power behind it. He has small bobby pins that can blast with 15 million volts of electricity. In a short time, he can turn his robotic leg into a freeze ray. He created a containment gun that can bind or restrain beings in a cocoon. Like, different characters they meet, like Dazzler, for example, who's a being that can manipulate or flash with light. He made something based off her power to stun beings with like a super bright effect to the point where you can't even shut your eyes. It'll blind you for 30 seconds, gun to block out psychic wavelengths, aka freeing you from the control of mind control type people. Even when people have better resources than him, futuristic tech, way better technology 100 years in the future, he made a vibranium polymer, something he made over breakfast that was strong enough to damage beings with futuristic armor. Look at the blast power of the snipers he uses. Like, he's making stuff this powerful without even having a long time to prep. Like, just he's making stuff like this on the jet plane or ride there. He got guns that can obliterate you on a molecular level, a molecular dispersion cannon. Its energy waves will tear him apart at a cellular level. Like, yeah. Of course he has gear that can easily destroy buildings. He's the reason why Cable got a new missile launcher. Built this giant mech, basically showing he can be like Iron Man if he wanted to, that can beat up this big scorpion. You see here, he has like his own battle suit, but this battle suit's more organic, which seems to give him amazing physical strength as well. Is this your favorite battle suit for Forge? He also got this Captain Krakoa suit he fused with Caliban. In this story, I will admit this suit is a pretty cool design. It's even stated he bundled his mind and his DNA, wove them into the suit. We're talking about the kind of guy that's way scarier than nukes. He implied he can turn his van into a freaking nuclear explosion or nuclear bomb. I guess this is still technically an oversimplification when you look at alternate timelines that, usually never ever occur. He apparently made a gun that can do serious damage to Hulk tier beings. It was this occasion with Maestro. This gun that you see Maestro use, this is because of Forge. This gun is made for murking a Hulk level being. Even if you want to say murking a Hulk with this gun is an exaggeration, it can still do damage to beings like Hulk. So when he says he can make his own nuke, I definitely believe it, and that's nothing, really. It's practically confirmed he could make planet-shattering level kind of guns if his alternate reality self, alternate future self, made a gun that Maestro's using against Hulk. The main continuity Hulk, like you see this gun, what it did to Hulk, even though he's still fighting, it did some damage. Just a friendly reminder that these Titans like Thor and Hulk are always hitting each other. Hulk always being hit by Thor's hammer Mjolnir. It's a constant theme in comics. Even if we're not talking about the main Hulk, even other Hulks like Red Hulk, when you realize Thor tier beings can shake the universe and hit similar to Force of the Big Bangs, and they're always fighting Hulk. Hulk's a powerhouse in Marvel just like Thor, blah, 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 durability-wise as well. It makes you realize that Forge making weapons like this not only proves he can make planet-shattering type of weapons, but you could say he can make weapons that could probably destroy a black hole if he can make weapons this strong. And for those of you probably saying, oh, this don't count, this is a future Forge. Well, it's actually proven that the main continuity Forge can make this gun. Hulk even referenced the Maestro crap, implying that this is the same gun he did making the same continuity, saying this gun can kill even you. Don't you dare give Forge resources like a Celestial Head or something to work with. Let's just say he's had experiences with black holes before. To make matters worse about him having guns that can fatally wound some of the strongest powerhouses in the universe, in the Marvel universe, like the Hulk, based on his durability, he made this weapon in an extremely short amount of time. It wasn't even already built yet. He just said, let me whip it up real quick. Like, that means it wasn't even made yet. Would it have actually killed the Hulk? I guess we'll never know, I guess. What do you think is his most impressive weapon? I mean, we're talking about a guy that has his own arsenal of futuristic gear he can use all at the same time to do some miniature team-busting type stuff. Even without that tech, he's able to fight a mystical being like Darkchild Magik with his own mystical gear. Yeah, he can summon his own mystical armor, kind of crazy, right? You could say even when his pants down, he can still produce objects that can kind of defend against powerhouses of Marvel, like in this occasion, countering, blocking attacks, holding off Darkchild. He can make guns that can resist magical creatures. What a perfect name for somebody that builds stuff. This mutant known as Forge, this page tells you everything you need to know about him if you want to read all this, but basically, he's a super smart mutant type being who can build almost any machine just by thinking about it. He was trained by magic using shaman by his tribe. He chose science instead. He ended up joining the army. He lost a hand and a leg in battle. With demons, he accidentally unleashed using magic. After that, he swallowed for magic and focused only on tech. He's built powerful gadgets, including the one that accidentally took away Storm's powers, which made him feel bad, just like the events that happened in the X-Men 97 cartoon. He's also the reason how she got her power back. Let's just say he fixed his mistake with his inventions. Yeah, it was his mistake by giving the government something that can neutralize superpowers. That's a big mistake. This picture kind of gives you an idea of his evolution, his different outfits, different organizations or teams he's been on. The way they explain how his mutant power works, Forge's mutant talent for inventing functions like perception. He can see mechanical energy with his eyes to understand the capabilities of any mechanical or technological device, while his subconscious mind determines the theoretical principles behind it and the steps necessary to create it. Combined with his natural intellect, Forge can conceive, design, and build a vast array of devices, as well as operate, modify, reverse engineer existing devices. He even has cybernetic parts, which you can tell if you're this far in the video. Yeah, he's pretty versatile, not just a science buff, but his magic knowledge is kind of decent. Like you can see in this occasion, he turns the X-Men souls into energy. He can thoughtlessly create a mystical shield. Like, I'm talking about full-blown energy magical constructs, shield, face mask, spear type of thing he can technically use. He already knows you're an android, even if you don't tell him. He can build teleporters, building machines that can fix droughts. He built something that works off of the energy from the sun, pulls water from the air, and produces water that way. He has tech that can scan timelines with an S of mutants. He's also built a time machine. He can build devices to give characters telepathy. If you're being hit with psionic stuff, he can build a machine so you can counter psionic stuff. Or he can build a machine to amp your telepathic power. He can make a psychic dampener. He can build stuff based on the most rinky-dink technology, like building an untraceable Wi-Fi terminal out of old television antenna, hack into the IRS mainframe with it, stuff that shouldn't be possible with that little bit of limited tech. He has trackers and lipstick, and the watch has a biometric shield, which will protect your entire body from level 4 infectious agents. Who do you know that can create EMPs that can fit in your mouth? Only Forge. He can make stuff that allow him to track Mystique every time she shifts, so no fooling him with shape-shifting. He has proximity sensors that lets him know when people are nearby, made glider wings, motorcycles that work in space. When there's characters that are mutated the way they're not supposed to be, Forge is the one that fixes them right up to the way they're supposed to be. He made an infrared sensor. He can make environments that are not really there look like they're there because of a hologram. He can make devices to tell whether you're a mutant, alien, or a human. If the Blackbird gets messed up, you know Forge is the one that can make a new one. With very limited resources, he went from the Stone Age to solar-powered technology in a year. If you need a piece of tech or gear that needs upgrades, just go to Forge. I mean, a lot of your favorite characters go to him for their gear. Even if we don't necessarily see him use the gear, they go to him for the gear. Characters like Domino, for example. He's been playing around with Krakoan organics, hybridizing them with his standard arsenal. Renewable ammo, long as you root and water it every night. You will never run out of rounds with this gear, apparently. So you can shoot and you can go into stabby mode. Combine people, a hand cannon, an earthen sword, a grappling glove, a Swiss Army mitten. The roots bond with your nerves, so the interface is neuro-responsive. You think it and it does what you need. Like, it's one thing to be techie, but making bioorganic stuff, this kind of stuff reminds me of, like, scientists like Dr. Gero from Dragon Ball being able to make an organic being that can bleed and stuff. Forge seems like he could have the ability to do something like that with his skills. He can just have an energy board pop out of his leg. It's straight up cybernetics, like, inside his body that he can use to hack into stuff, like, that's built in him. He has legit knockout gas. I mean, if he decides not to use magic as a magical shield, he can use the energy built into his cybernetics to block attacks, or he can just use his arm as a cannon energy blast. He has these seed drones he made to make sure no death goes unnoticed. Gear he himself made, like a sunblock biosuit that helps generate blood cells, along with a UV laced sword that should carve the worm-infested liver out of any vampire. He can make anti-vampire gear. He has flamethrower gear. Forge has made this thing known as the Analog, a device that identifies world-ending problems. We see it in action. He makes such improvements to where he gets tired of repairing stuff over and over again, so he made it to where certain things self-repair. What can't Forge create? I want to hear your thoughts below. But before I get going, everybody, like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications. Thanks for the donations. Forge is insane. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.